that created a lot of friction, a lot of dissent within our congregation. And it was a time of pain and disagreement and arguments. There were church members that were so passionate on both sides of the issue, and it really divided our congregation. And throughout, I would say from 2009 all the way to 2012 and 13, we really struggled with coming together. And that was a time of deep pain because we loved each other, but we didn't agree. And it was hard to see members who you loved and valued walk away because they felt so strongly about this issue that they didn't feel they could be a member of our community anymore. So that time of pain, we're still dealing with, right? And we all had to choose, right? We had to make a choice. Who are we going to choose to be? Am I going to choose to be right or wrong? Am I going to choose to be righteous? Or are we going to choose to love?
You know, you bring up both time and making a choice, right? Mm-hmm. That it's sort of both. It's not just kind of, let's just let it be and we'll kind of heal however that happens. But no, you're right, it was an intentional choice to love each other. Despite disagreements.
Right.
Yeah.
Together. Can we find a way to be in community even if we don't always agree? And the Holy Spirit was with us in those council meetings, within those committee meetings, within those after church conversations in the parking lot where we're choosing to love. I was a part of a number of conversations throughout these years of what's important? What does Jesus tell us to do? What are we called to do? Who do I want to be? And we've been asking ourselves this question after seeing people we love walk away from our congregation. How can we be Jesus to others? What does that look like and what does that mean? And time has certainly helped. Time has helped soften us. And the world has changed, and we've all changed and grown through this experience. Boy, the Holy Spirit was right there with us the whole time and nudging us, and we were uncomfortable at times, probably still are uncomfortable at times, but bringing us back to our core. Why are we here? You know, what are we called to do?
Yeah, it's powerful. It's powerful to see how the Spirit is showing up in these people and these people that I'm serving and in our community. I think most recently the way I've seen this happen is we've had a family who has joined our membership, and they moved into a house right across the road from our building, and right away they've jumped in to become an active participating family, even in the leadership, and two of the children of this family are on different places on the sexuality spectrum and on the gender spectrum, and the mother of this family has been very kind of open about this and sharing her own pain in the ways that her children have been treated in other contexts, such as other churches, and how she really hopes that her church home can be a welcoming, inviting place for her kids. And so the Spirit has kind of, I hear the Spirit speaking through her, bringing this to us where we're at, and almost forcing us to have a conversation. I don't want to say force is the right word, but kind of putting it out there and saying, okay, now it's time, maybe we can talk about this. What kind of community do we want to be for our neighbors? How welcoming are we going to be? How inclusive are we going to be? And so we're beginning to have that conversation now.
It's how can we be in reconciliation with each other, and reconciliation with God, and fulfill what we're called to do.
Yeah.
I guess I keep coming back to that. Who are we? We have to choose who we are as a congregation and what that looks like. Are we going to be welcoming with conditions,
Mhm.
or are we going to be just welcoming?
When a community does go through such a turbulent time of conflict that really shakes things up, those who make the choice to stay and love, they sort of form a core, and that's where trust happens, and they are the ones that shape the culture going forward. So as we welcome new members in, they're kind of brought into that way of operating, and we know where we've been. We're not going back there. This is the way forward: love and trust.
You're not going to have the answers. It's okay to admit you're afraid. It's okay to go into a conversation saying, I'm afraid. I value this relationship. I value you as a person. And I don't want damage to come. I want to listen to you, I want to understand. But I have trepidation. It's absolutely okay to name it, as we talked about, to recognize it and just put it on the table. We've chosen not to have the conversations the same way, and to not allow us to go back to that area. So we're addressing things that might be a conflict, but it's a small conflict before it becomes a big conflict. And that's a choice each person on a committee or in a member or in a working together in any type of group, if we disagree, of course we're not perfect, but recognizing that if we have a conflict, we need to address it right away before it becomes something larger. So I guess it's a part of having a crucial conversation, right? And naming it and being aware and working towards not going back there again.